My name is Skyler Holobach, and welcome back to Enjoy Your Time Off, and other things I wish people would stop saying to me. A layoff survival guide for high-performing women. When I was a kid, I remember my dad sitting me and my sisters down and explaining to us that he had lost his job due to a layoff. I remember the look on his face, trying to explain to the three of us how things might change and how he walked that tightrope of explaining complicated adult concepts to three very small children. He was afraid, but he was doing his best to not show it. And I vowed that I would never get laid off, so I wouldn't ever have to experience that. So I high-performed my entire career, thinking that if I high-performed enough, I would never have to experience that. And now here I sit, making a 7-episode series about my layoff. For 6 of those episodes, I've been taking the things people said to me after I got laid off and explaining why they weren't so good. And I really hope that's been useful to somebody. It's been useful to me to build. Today's episode is about flipping the script. I have been thinking a lot about what I would say to myself if I could go back to February 18th, 2026. That is the day it happened. I got a phone call from my CEO. He told me I'd been laid off, and I told jokes. I kept the energy very light. I focused on making sure everyone else in the conversation felt okay about what was happening to me, because that's what I do. That's what high performers do. We manage other people's feelings, even when ours are falling apart. And I was given the gift of saying goodbye to my coworkers, and I'm very grateful for that. I finally cried when my head engineer got angry that I had been let go. I didn't cry when I got the call. I certainly wasn't crying when I was making jokes. I cried when he was angry for me. When he felt the injustice on my behalf, that's when it really hit me. Because someone being angry for you gives you permission to feel it yourself in a way that someone just dismissively saying, "You'll be fine," really never does. And if I could sit across from that version of me who had just hung up that phone and was immediately grabbing her personal laptop to go update her resume, here's what I'd tell her. Dear Skyler, you're going to have a hard time. There's no way around it, but knowing you, you'll absolutely try. You're going to start applying for jobs today, actually within the hour. You're going to build a whole system for it, because that is how your brain processes fear, by turning it into a project. And that system will be impressive. It will also be a way of avoiding the fact that you are devastated. And you are going to need someone you trust to sit you down and tell you to stop. You're going to have to let her. She's right. You're going to have days where you want to spend the whole time alternately shrieking into the wilderness and sobbing under 1,000 blankets. You are going to feel the white-hot rage of things happening to you that were in no way your fault, of you having to take accountability for other people's mistakes. One too many someones is going to tell you to enjoy your time off, and you are going to want to throw your phone into the sun. Someone else is going to tell you they're not worried about you, and you're going to smile and say thank you and then cry in your car. These are normal responses to an abnormal situation, and they do not mean you're falling apart. They mean you're grieving, and grief is loud and messy and ugly, and you need to let it be all of those things instead of trying to perform your way through it. You're going to forget who you are for a while. That's the scariest part, and I'm not going to lie to you, it takes a long time to come back from. Your brain is going to try super hard to convince you that you were never as good as you thought you were. It's going to use every rejection email as evidence, and you're going to believe it some days, because believing it is easier than sitting with the uncertainty of not knowing what comes next. But here's what I know that you don't know yet. You're going to fill notebook pages with things you're very damn good at, and you're going to look at that page and remember. You're going to build to lists that keep you sane when everything feels out of control. You're going to learn to stop building fences around other people's yards and start letting them decide for themselves whether they want to hear from you. You're going to get some damn confidence back. And it's going to be hard, and it's going to suck, but you're going to do it anyway because of who you ultimately are as a person. I also promise you there will be joy in this too. There's something nice about the ritual of your to-do list, the brownies your husband insists you get, when you do something big and scary but good, getting to make a big complicated breakfast because you have nowhere demanding your time. There's a lot of joy in not getting a Teams ping and an immediate video call to put out a fire you had nothing to do with. There is joy in making new friends and having the energy at the end of the day to meaningfully spend time with them, and in having the ability to be fully present for your family. There's joy in realizing who you are and building your own company, partially so no one can lay you off ever again, but also partially because you know your high performance is worth selling to startups that need your brand of organizational excellence. That part will also be hard, but it's a lot more joyous than yet another rejection email. I'm not, in any way, saying you must enjoy your time, but I believe you can find your way out of this stronger. I can't go back and say that to her. I can't sit across from the version of me who is staring at her ceiling on February 18th and tell her what's coming. She has to find out the hard way. And she did, and she's still finding some stuff out. But I can say it to you. If you just got laid off, or you're in the middle of the job search, or you're 6 months in, or wherever you are, I see you. I know what it feels like. And I am telling you, from the same arena you're in, you can get through this. It will cost you more than anyone warns you about. It will hurt you in ways you didn't expect and couldn't have planned for. You will have days where you cry on the floor, and you will also have days where you remember who you are, where you will remember your magic and how high-performing and awesome you are, and those days will start to outnumber the other ones. So, that's the series. There's 7 episodes of terrible advice I turned into something I genuinely hope was useful to somebody out here. I made this because I went looking for the version of this content that would have helped me, and I couldn't find it. So I decided if it didn't exist, I would make it myself. Which, if I'm being honest, is how I've approached effectively everything in my career. I find the thing that's missing, and I build it. So what now? As I said in episode 1, I don't have all the answers. I don't have the LinkedIn learning course or the magic wand that will save you. My entire goal in creating this was to make someone out here feel less alone and connect to the humans who needed this like I did when I got laid off. If you want to hear more from me, please connect with me on LinkedIn, message me and tell me what resonated, or share this with someone who needed it. But please, for my sake and for theirs, don't tell them to enjoy their time off. Thank you.